Welcome to the war room. So there's been a lot of, in the past 3 or 4 days, been a lot of energy and effort from some very important people here. We're currently at one of my residences on the edge of Romania for this project. I have a lot of people besides myself who have either been deplatformed or are currently covert or literally on the run from the police, who are going to be involved in providing information and knowledge for this war room. I deliberately got rid of my hosting provider for the website, deplatformed me. We built our own server because there's going to be information in the war room in the upcoming months that will teach you how to make money illegally. There's going to be things in here which are not fit for public consumption, details about personal lives of me and other people, which are simply not fit for public consumption, and also a lot of views and opinions on topics which cannot be discussed on social media, and topics which can be discussed on social media, but I can't say what I really think and feel because I'll instantly be banned. And I'm tired of self-censoring myself. I've been censoring myself for too fucking long, and they're still banning me. So if you want to fuck with me and go to war, let's go to war. If you're gonna ban me no matter what, I'm not telling the fucking truth. So topics like transgenderism, topics like Islam, topics like the destruction of the West, all of these things which will be basically insta-ban, instantly ban you on social media, we're going to be discussing here. The first video, I want to try and understand my general view of the world. And a lot of people seem to message me and say, oh, how do you get your view of the world? Where did it come from? Why do you think how you think? A lot of it is based purely on not reading. I'm not a reader. I don't sit and consume book after book. A lot of it's based on real world experience. And the reason I think my real world experience is so unique is because I've lived absolute extremes on both sides of the equation. So I want you guys to understand that I've been to 72 countries. There's not many people who have been to 72 countries. And if you do meet someone who has been to 72 countries, they've been backpacking, fucking around with a travel blog, using a GoPro, filming themselves at a night market. They haven't been to 72 countries doing the things I do. I've been to Iraq getting paid. To this day, people don't know why I was there. How does an American even get a visa to go to Iraq as a non-soldier? I've been to, name a country I've been there, and I've been there for reasons which are so varied and so vast. I've been in situations which are so unique that I've learned a lot about this planet. It's not just about where you go, it's about what you do when you're there. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I've had multiple attempts on my life. I've been stabbed, I've had guns pulled on me, I've been jumped. You name it, I've been through a whole bunch of shit, and I've seen how people change and react in these situations. I'll assure you, fear is something which is real, and it's something you have to really genuinely train your mind to not feel. And even to this day, if I know I'm about to get hurt or die, of course I'm going to be afraid. But I've been with a whole bunch of tough guys who shit themselves when it goes down. A whole bunch of people who think they know it all, and they shit themselves when it goes down. And I've been with people who don't do that. And that's taught me a lot about people and the interdynamics of individuals and projection and what people say versus what they mean. There's a whole bunch you can learn about people by simply putting them in extreme situations. You don't know much about a person until they're in an extreme situation. You're sitting here right now thinking, oh, my best friend, Robert, whoever your best friend is. You're sitting there thinking, my best friend. If someone came at you both with a knife and you got stabbed and you're bleeding to death on the street, and the only way he can save you is if he goes and fights that guy with a knife, 99% of your friends would run. And you may be sitting there going, not my friend. Well, the statistics say otherwise. This is the reality of people. Another thing that makes my point of view unique, I'd assume, is the extremity as to which the lives I've lived. I grew up poor in social housing in England. I'm now a multimillionaire. I was nothing, then I was a kickboxing world champion. I knew nothing about business. I was very intelligent, but I had no interest in academics in any way. My attendance at college was 25%. Now I have multi-million-pound businesses. So I've lived complete different extremes, and I've done it slowly up to the top, and I've met people all along the way and interacted with them all along the way, and I've learned the difference. I know how a rich person views the world. I know how a poor person views the world. I know how criminals view the world. I know how liberals view the world. I understand why people think how they think. It's extremely apparent to me why a liberal is a liberal. And I know this because I've been to so many places and I've seen so many liberals from the top of the income bracket to the bottom of the income bracket. I've worked with liberals. I've seen liberals cry when a knife is pulled, full-grown men in tears. I've seen it, and I understand that liberalism is based on fear. Liberalism is based on, I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid of the big bad guys coming to get me. So I want to project to the world that I'm an accepting, nice person, hoping to be spared. Liberals are hoping to be captured by the invading army and kept as a court jester or a pet. If you've ever seen 300, there's the ugly, horrible hunchback thing. And he runs over to the enemy and goes, ooh, I'll help you if you save. That's what liberals are. They understand the enemy army's coming. They understand there's an invasion. But because they're not man enough to resist it, because they're not strong enough to stand up against it, they want to pretend it's not an invasion altogether. Liberalism is the ultimate cowardice. They're coming to kill us. I'm not man enough to resist them. So what I'm going to do is sit there and go, oh, they're great, let them in, they're our friends, they're our friends. And hoping that one of them one day, before he stabs me or kills my family, looks through my Twitter feed first and realizes I'm actually a nice guy. Liberalism is the ultimate submission. It's a self-submission. It's self-loathing, self-hating. It's insane. Liberalism is insanity on every level. If you're a straight white man and you're sitting there saying all straight white men are bad, you have a fucking problem in your brain. So I understand the world because I've interacted with all these kinds of people. Another thing I understand intimately is Islam. And I say this, people get there and go, you understand Islam intimately? Are you a Muslim? No, I'm not. Have you read the Quran? Yes, I have. I've also read the Bible, which is why I'm not religious. Most religious people have not read the Bible. If you believe in God, read the Bible. Not just the little parts that the preacher tells you to read for 10 minutes on a Sunday. Sit your ass down, get the book, and start reading it. And when you're reading it and you're struggling to pay attention because it's complete garbage, men living inside of whales and making a little campfire and sleeping there. Moses is 800 years old. All just reading this, kill anyone who goes to work on a Sunday. Jesus feeds all these people with 2 fish. If you're just reading this shit, this is stupid. If you actually read it, you'll understand this bullshit. I've read the Quran. And I've also interacted with many Muslims and very high-profile Muslims. And I don't have anything against Islam. I'm going to make this very clear now. Tommy Robinson's a very good personal friend of mine. His beef is specifically against Islam. My view is different. I don't believe Islam is the problem. I believe the nature of the world is one in which the strong conquer the weak. This is the nature of the world. If Muslims are allowed to come into a country, dictate the laws, break laws, and the police be afraid to arrest them just because they're Muslim, you cannot blame the Muslims for this. You cannot blame the invading force if the people whose country is to protect roll over so pathetically. You have to blame the weak people for being conquered. Although I don't agree with Islam and I'm not a Muslim, I also understand that the reason the West is being completely decimated is because the West refuses to resist. How can I be mad at someone for taking what's so easy to take? If I put $1 million outside my house and left it there, and someone came along and take it, how can I sit there and go, those fucking thieves, how dare they? Why did I left it there. I left it open. Sweden leaves its women to be raped. No one does anything. England leaves its children to be groomed. No one does anything. No one resists. They kill us. They terrorist attacks. Stab us on the street. No one does shit. So how can you be mad at the Muslims or the invading army when there's no resistance? Why is there no resistance? Well, there's no resistance, which we're going to discuss in future videos. But most of you understand there's a war on masculinity, which is one of the topics we'll be discussing. Most of you guys understand there's a war on femininity. There's a war on the family unit. There's a war on the West. There's a war on social values. There's a war on gender roles. There's a war on basically everything which kept things in order. One of the primary functions of a man since the dawn of human time was to be a warrior class. Up until recent times, there was never in history a civilization that did not have a class of warriors. If you didn't have an army or warriors or a band of people prepared to die to protect your values and your people, you didn't exist for very long. And now, all of a sudden, because of all these attacks, because of all this programming, they've now destroyed people's ability and will to resist. And now we're being conquered. Well, of course, this is the natural order of the world. But when I talk about Islam, we're going to talk about all these things. We're talking about all the wars and everything on masculinity, etc., in future videos. In this particular video, I want to explain something to you that you guys may not understand. And I tweeted this and spoke about it a little bit recently. The true motivation for Islam. The true motivation for Islam, many people don't understand. Many people think that they're fervent believers. Well, They believe, but it's convenient for them to believe. What you have to understand is people don't like to believe inconvenient truths. People like to believe convenient truths. If you can tell somebody something which is convenient for them to believe, then they believe it. Why do black people in America believe so fervently that the whole system's racist? Because that is a convenient belief. I'm a loser. I have no money. I'm a criminal. I do all these things myself. I live in the projects. I sell drugs. But the system's racist. That's why I'm a drug dealer. Because the system... No, you're a drug dealer because you're a drug dealer. But if you believe the system's racist, it's very convenient for you as an excuse. You believe that the system's racist so fervently because it gives you an excuse for your lifestyle. And Islam is the same. The reason people believe it so fervently is because it's extremely convenient for them. And I'm going to talk about the many different reasons why it's convenient to be a Muslim. But one of the most important reasons, which people don't understand and don't discuss, is pussy. People don't understand, in this world, everything happens because there's a motivating force. And those motivating forces are basically one of three things: money, power, and pussy. Nothing happens for anything else. If you're sitting there thinking, why are ISIS conquering all this land? Why do these people do this? You can pin it down to one of three things, or probably all three: money, power, or pussy. Pussy has a fucking huge influence on this planet. 20% of men are fucking 80% of the girls. And the rest are left with fucking leftovers they don't even really want. This is the reality of the world we live in. This is why when I teach what I teach in the PhD course, which I hope all of you have, I teach you how to retain your women, because women are an asset. In the 1800s, you'd go and find the gold and mine the gold and hoard the gold to get rich. Nowadays, to get rich, you find the women, you get the women, you make them put your name on them with a tattoo, and you keep them. That's how you do it. Because there's people out there who'll do anything for pussy. The girls I fuck, most guys would chew their arm off to fuck them once, let alone fuck them all together like I do. And Islam is the main reason men fervently believe in Islam is because of girls. The reason Islam is conquering the earth is down to pussy. I'll tell you why. Understand me here. Pay attention. Muslim men and Muslim communities have seen how women act and what happens to women when they're released from slavery. They've seen what happens when you give a woman choice. They've looked at Western women and thought, what the fuck is this? They're drunk out their minds, running around like fucking whores in nightclubs, fucking 25 guys like skanks. And then when they finally do get a guy who's nice to them, they treat him like shit. There's nothing here worth marrying. There's no family left. You can't have a wife. This is the war room, gentlemen. We can cut the bullshit. You know, and I know, that every man alive wants a virgin. Cut the fucking garbage. Here is a girl who's a virgin. Here's her clone who's exactly the same, but she's had 20 dicks. Which one do you want? There's not a man alive who would choose to marry the girl who's been fucked left, right, and center. You'd all choose the virgin. With Islam, virginity is guaranteed. Find me a virgin in the West. I've been with my Muslim friends in nightclubs, and we've walked into clubs in London, and we've seen all those fucking hot girls with their little dresses on, drinking alcohol, acting like dancing a little hoes. And the Muslim guy turned to me and said, there's no wives here. Yeah, you can fuck here, but there's no wives. In my country, it's harder to fuck, but it's easier to find a wife. If you stop believing in Islam, then you're stuck with Western women. And the problem with this, the largest problem with this, is maybe if you're a multi-billionaire Muslim, Arab, you have a boat, then, okay, yeah, you play the game. You go to Dubai, you see all these billionaire Arabs, they're with all these hot white chicks, fine. But genetically, this is the war room, gentlemen. Genetically, it's not like you're from the Congo. If you're a big black dude and you have no money, fine. You're a fucking huge black guy. But if you're a little guy from India, you're a little dude, and you ain't got much money, you're a normal ass guy, and you stop believing in whatever, you want to go compete on this sexual marketplace? You want to go compete for those girls with like men like me around? You're not going to win. They know they can't win in the pure, fair, chaotic markets of the West. If you're a beta in the West, it's a struggle. Whereas if you're a beta under Islam, it doesn't matter. You still get a virgin wife who can touch, who will never cheat on you, who will give you children, who will cook for you, who will obey you, who will listen to you. These are all the things you men want and the things I want. For us to get them, we have to watch my PhD course, become rich, become high status men. Under Islam, you don't have to be shit. You can be a fucking loser and you still get the grand prize, which is a loyal female who obeys you. This is why people believe in Islam. Because women act like such fucking whores in the West that the men refuse to let go of their belief. And it's a convenient truth. It's convenient for them to believe in Islam. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Put a burqa on. If you've ever sat there and wondered why the Taliban, why ISIS, why these people are so desperate to fight against Western ideals and Western roles, it's because they're fighting for the ability to kill any man who touches their wife. They're sitting there thinking, if I don't protect the Islamic rule above us, when someone tries to fuck my wife, heaven forbid, if someone does fuck my wife, I can't kill him and I can't kill her. Because if you had a wife and someone fucked her, what would you want to do? Cut the bullshit. You want to kill her and you want to kill him. But in the Western world, it's fine. Your wife fucked someone else. Oh, well, you probably didn't treat her nice. It's garbage. Sit down, analyze, and understand. Next time you go in a club, next time you look at how Western women act, imagine you could live in an Islamic country. Imagine you could have 3 wives, fuck them all at the same time. Imagine they were all loyal to you and obeyed every word, cooked for you, cleaned for you, did anything you said, would never cheat on you ever. In fact, another man can't even see their face. Tell me you wouldn't want that. You have to be the highest of status males to pull that off in the Western world. I pull that off, and I'm the best I've ever seen. I've never seen a man on my level, ever. And I pull it off. But for the majority of people in the Western world, it's impossible to have one woman who behaves, let alone 3. Let alone all fucking you at once, all having your kids, all obeying you like slaves. But under Islam, it's possible. This is why Islam is so powerful. This is why people believe it so absolutely. This is why it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. And this is why in the near future, they're going to conquer the entire world.